Hi, I'm Jimmy Paschke,
Hey, I'm Vince Luciani.
and we're with Apex Technologies. We are really the power side of Apex Technologies, although we tend to get our hands into all sorts of good stuff, cool stuff that Ryan Donaher and the team bring to the market. Today, we're focused on one little aspect of power and the ability for us to be a better support system for our custom integration market. And that is, Vince, the inclusion of the SNMP card and putting that little SNMP card that's inside every UPS we ship, big or small, onto the home's network. And Vince, why on earth would we want to do that?
You know what, Jimmy, you and I made that decision from day one. Every one of the UPSs that we have shipped out with Apex Technologies has the SNMP card in it. We found out early on that it helps us out of a jam sometimes. It allows us to look at data because the SNMP card does collect data. It allows us a certain amount of remote control. It allows us to get a picture of what's going on as far as the input voltage is in real time. But more so, it led to the creation of the Apex Power Hub, which takes the attributes of that SNMP card and actually amplifies it and makes it an even more effective and more powerful tool. But we get the question a lot, hey, what can the SNMP by itself do for us? So here is the SNMP card right here. Here's the landing page for it. As you can see it has some pertinent information. It tells us, what mode we are currently in. It tells us the temperature, the input voltage, the output voltage, the current, the load level. That load level comes in handy sometimes. Sometimes our dealers inadvertently spec a UPS that's too low in output capability, and we can tell by this load level if its capabilities are being exceeded. On the surface, it gives us some pretty good capabilities, but one of the ones that we use quite a bit is the data collection that's built into it. So if you look down here on the left side, you can see there is an event log and there is a data log. So the event log timestamps certain events, like when you go into line mode, when you go into battery mode, certain things like that. The way that the data is organized inside the card is with these CSV files that are stored on a month-by-month basis. And you can output that data. You can see as this save as right here, but it's only going to output for the month that you choose. So if you're looking for an error, right, you don't know what month that it happened in. You're going to have to go over here and click on every one of these. And now Jimmy's UPS has not been online constantly for a period of time, so we don't have all the data of all the months in here. But if you had them all in there, you'd have to individually pick a month, apply, save, pick a month, apply, save, pick a month, and it's a little bit cumbersome. It even gets worse when you look at the data log, because the data log is stored day by day, page by page. So when you're looking at the information, it's just not the most convenient way to look at it, right? The same thing applies over here. You'll have to pick a day. You'll have to go down here and save. Pick the next day, apply, save, pick the next day. And then you get individual files. And then you have to append all those files together. In a pinch, have we done that? Yes, because the data is pertinent. We got to do what we got to do. Again, that's why we made the Power Hub. Now, one thing to notice that is when you go over here, if you go into event action, right, this allows you to record your data interval. And right now it's set at every 60 seconds. So we're not getting the greatest picture in the world because we're only recording the input voltage and output voltage every 60 seconds. When you use the Power Hub, that's not the case. You get it at every 1 second. And you can set this to be 1 second if you wish, but you got to know to go in there and do that if you're using the SNMP card as your data collection device. One of the other things that we get sometimes, Jimmy, is people asking us if email can be supported, from the SNMP card. And you can see here that, yes, there is a tab for email right here, right? Unfortunately, the card is a little bit not up to date as far as the email protocols that it supports. So in order for you to use the email capabilities built into the card, you have to have a mail server that's on site, right? That is on the network where this card is configured. As far as SMS text concerned, I have never used it, so I don't know what the capabilities are or what you can do. Mainly because by the time that we started thinking about SMS, the Apex Power Hub was up and running that had SMS texting capabilities built in, so we didn't need to look at it. So Jimmy, that's enough on the SNMP card. Why don't you start with the portal, and we'll go on to the Power Hub.
Yeah, perfect. So yeah, just getting to the UPS might be even easier than what we've just witnessed here. I would log in as a customer and I would see all of my jobs pull up all at once. So wherever I've deployed an Apex Power Hub, I then have access to every power device that's sitting on the same network as the hub. One hub per job site, as long as we're all on the same network.
Jimmy, you make
never,
a good point that I didn't even think about. When I'm showing you this SNMP card, I'm assuming that you have a way to worm into your network. Now, you guys are, network professionals, so you probably have that set up already. But you do get onto the network remotely in order to get to that SNMP card. With this portal, we set up that connection for you. So from the portal, you're looking at our website. You'll connect on one of your occurrences or one of your hubs that is at one of your job sites, and it's using HTML5 to make a secure connection between you and the hub that's on the network at your customer location.
Yeah, perfect. Once I get in, if there's something that I want to be notified about, I can set notifications up here, meaning, do I want to add a phone number for text? Do I want to add an email for other notifications? And then I can say that, yeah, critical notifications are going to go to text. High notifications go to email. I can choose to send to both if I wanted to. And we'll show you where those notifications exist once we get into the hub. So here I would end up typing in a customer's job. I see Paschke system. Paschke's calling me saying, hey, what the heck's going on? I've had so many issues actually since the summer time frame. And as we go back and we look at the months worth of history, we can see that, yeah, there's a lot going on here. What exactly is going on? Well, that's being shown to us by looking at the timestamp data and recent notifications. And it looks like not only have we gone to battery, we have temperature issues at this particular site as well. The temperatures coming to us from the GUD PDU product, and obviously the battery information is coming from the UPS. And Vince, what did you have to say?
Yeah, so Jimmy, you make a good corollary here, right? In order for me to figure out where my problems were, whereas you have this nifty little that says, hey, there may have been some problems on these dates, I would have to download all that data from the SNMP card and find the needle in the haystack myself. So that's a great example of how the hub is very helpful.
Yeah, we don't have time for that, right? I mean, we want to get to the information quick. You got a customer breathing down your neck. We can basically scan through this overview page and look at, yep, our battery capacity is fine. We look like we're pretty well charged. We are online, so there seems to be no issue there. Our voltage input is okay, but it doesn't really matter what it is because our output is solid at plus or minus a volt from 120. Our load is definitely not anywhere close to 100%. We're good there, and runtime is going to be almost 80%. If I need to know when it's time to replace batteries, this thing will even tell me that. There's two ways of doing it. One is we run a scheduled battery test. Two, I tell this thing, hey, I installed it on this date. I want to inspect it a year later. And in 3 years from the install date, it'd be a good idea to replace those batteries. Going back to the UPS, we had all those recent notifications. We looked at going over to battery sometime earlier in the month of November here. There's a few things I can do. I can scan a day by going day by day here and looking at my graph information that comes up, or I can go over to the calendar and pull 2 days worth of data, go download the CSV. Once it's downloaded, I then go open the file. I'm going to cheat here a little bit.
So Jimmy, while you're opening that up, we should note, while you just picked 2 days of data, right? You could have picked a month's worth of data. You could have picked 2 months worth of data. Right?
That's right.
And it would have downloaded it all one time. Whereas with the SNMP card, you have to pick day by day and download day by day. And then each one of those is a separate file that you have to append together. And it's cumbersome.
Definitely cumbersome. And, here, what we're all about is trying to make your life easier and getting past that customer's frustration point quicker. One thing I didn't mention while you were scanning the SNMP card itself, two things we got asked about enough early on to say, you know what, we really could use something that was helping us with A, muting the alarm remotely, and B, letting us know when to replace batteries. So I just enabled the alarm. I'm going to mute it now just by clicking this little switch here, and now my audible alarm will be 100% killed from this day forward. Vince, there was something else we wanted to mention.
Yeah, actually, I think we didn't show that in the SNMP card. From the SNMP card, you can mute the alarm. You can go over here and you go to parameter settings, and you can see there are 3 alarm related controls, right? Which one do you pick? Well, we've done that for you in the Apex Power Hub. We know which one that you need to pick, but it can be done. But unfortunately, right, if you only had an SNMP card, we don't recommend turning that audible alarm off, because there's no enunciation that there's something wrong. With the Power Hub, when you do mute that alarm, right? When you do mute that alarm, the backup is the fact that those notifications are being sent to your team either by email or by text.
And I
Right.
showed where you signed up for those notifications, but if you want to take it from here, if you want to set those, just come onto the notification settings. And for UPS, you can create your critical, your high, your medium, or low alerts that go out via either text or email. That's all decided upon the first screen that you signed in on. Vince, there was something you wanted to mention about PDUs, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, and so one of the great things about the hub that I really like, it's kind of a one-stop overview for all of your power-related product in your installation. So I just clicked on our Apex Technology showroom. You can see that we have more than one UPS there. If we had 5 UPSs, they would all be lined up here. So instead of accessing each one of these individually, their SNMP cards individually, all of their data is aggregated right here on one table. The same thing with PDUs, right? All our PDUs are right here, whether they are from Good Systems, our in-house brand, or if they are from Wadbox. And very shortly, we will be supporting Furman Panamax Blue Bolt, and Surgix as well will be, we're planning on bringing on board. Not only are you able to see the status of these devices, but you also have control, right? You can on or off or reboot outlets from here. You can look at what the input voltage is and what the current per outlet, if that device supports that capability. And our GUD piece absolutely does give you individual current monitoring. What's really convenient is if you go over here to outlets, this is a complete listing of all of the outlets from all the different PDUs that are connected to the system. Where this comes in handy is, we all know that when do problems happen? They happen Friday and Saturday nights when your customers want to use their systems, the same time that you're out for dinner having your time. You want to be able to access these things from your phone very quickly. We have this search feature that allows you to find Apple TV or whatever the device that you're looking for, and allow you to reboot that device very quickly and easily from your phone.
Excellent. So yeah, it's a centralized device on the network that talks to all of the power devices that are also on that network to monitor, manage, and or control various outlets and or UPSs in the system.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
I think to sum up what we're talking about today, your UPSs have an SNMP card, hook them up to the network. That's step 1. Step 2, add an Apex Power Hub and make the SNMP cards in your multiple units and your PDUs much more effective and much more useful.
Excellent. And to get more information, dig in a little deeper on this demonstration, you can go to Apex Technologies YouTube channel or contact us at support@apex-tech.us. Thanks, Vince. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Jimmy.